everybody, it's Carrie Burke here. It is Saturday. It is September 5th, and my husband and I went on a walk this morning at Pierre Marquette National Park, and we went to a farmer's market and we just kind of ran around all day, and so you see me in my workout glory. But I'm getting ready to make dinner. I'm probably not going to bake it right now, but I will show you pictures when it is done. It is not a Pampered Chef recipe, but I am going to be using Pampered Chef products to make this delicious recipe. Now, I got this cookbook a while back and I've never used anything out of it, and I made some chicken lettuce wraps last night, which were delicious. And so tonight we are having the everything but the bagel chicken roll-ups. So I'm gonna make those for you right now, and I'm gonna show you how I'm gonna do it really easily using all of the right tools in your kitchen with Pampered Chef, okay? So first things first, we're gonna need some chicken. So I've got some chicken right here. And if you have a cutting board that doesn't have, like, this is a very old Pampered Chef cutting board. So our products withstand the test of time, which is why I love Pampered Chef and their products. But this is an older cutting board, and so it doesn't have the non-slip grip on it like the new ones do. But I've had this for over 20 years. But if you don't have that, you can just take a paper towel and wet it and put it down on your countertop, and it'll stop it from moving, okay? So first things first is I've got some chicken, and I meant to get this out before we all got together, but I forgot. So I'm going to have to, what is that buzzing? Something's buzzing, I don't know. Anyway, I will wash my hands when I get finished with all this so that you guys can see, but I'm actually gonna use our cutlery. So I know today I've been talking about the cookware, but I wanted to share with you guys our knife set and our cutlery. This is also a very old, older knife from Pampered Chef, but our knife sets also have a lifetime warranty, which is amazing. I mean, wouldn't you like to have the best cutting utensil to do your recipes and then not ever have to worry about buying another one? So the investment could be a little bit on the front end, but it's going to save you in the long run. And if you're a host, you can get them for free or half price. So it's like a no-brainer. So basically with this recipe, I'm going to show you, these are very sharp, so be very, very careful. But I need to take chicken breasts and cut them. The recipe asks for 8 thinly sliced chicken breasts. So I'm going to make little cutlets. So instead of spending $8 a pound on these adorable little cutlets, you can do them yourselves. And I'm gonna show you a really easy hack to do that. So one of the things that we have here at Pampered Chef is called our Close and Cut. Another one of my favorite products. So this one has a patent on it, so you won't find this anywhere else. Basically, here's the bottom. This is the little plate, and you see there's a little, it adjusts. There's a spring loaded here, and there's a spring loaded up here. So when you put your food, potatoes, tomatoes, grapes, whatever you want to cut in half, and you put it here, it pushes the food down so it gets it in half. So I'm going to grab a knife or a fork. I'm going to grab one of these chicken breasts out of my container here, and I'm going to throw this breast right in here. See how I'm doing that? Okay. So then what I'm going to do is I'm going to close this, and I'm going to push it. Now there's a little guard right here. See where my fingers are going? This is the guard for your fingers. So you push this down, take your knife, and you're gonna wedge it right in between where the top and the bottom are, and you're gonna do like that. And then voila. Now I'm going to go a step further, and I'm gonna cut it again. So I'm gonna just leave one in there, and I'm gonna close it, and I'm gonna cut this one. Now we'll see, I'm not sure because this is the bottom part of the breast, how it's gonna work out, but look at that. It did it. Look at how nice and thin that is. So now now this one is the bottom part with all the tenderloin, so that one's probably not gonna work out as great, so I'll set that aside, and I will use that in another recipe for chicken nuggets or something. But I will take this other cutlet and do the same thing that I just did with the first one, and see if I can get this one to cut as a thin slice. I sure did. So look at that, guys. So I just made 3 little tiny cutlets out of that one chicken breast. I'm trying to figure out what my camera is. Isn't that cool? So I'll do another one because I need 8. So I might be doing a couple chicken breasts. So you guys can use this with potatoes. You can use, I'm gonna cut this off because there's some grating stuff on this chicken breast. I'm gonna clean this one up, throw that aside. And then I'm gonna just do the same thing. But you can do it with tomatoes, potatoes, chicken. You can do it with pork chops. What I like to do is I like to butterfly my chicken breast too. And so what that means is I'm not gonna cut it completely to the end. I'm just gonna leave it so that it's kind of like a sandwich, like a piece of bread, right? And then that way you can stuff it with other things. And then you have it butterflied, which is really fun. So we've got some excess chicken. I'm just gonna cut that right off there. I'm gonna throw my excess chicken. I'm gonna see how many I have. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I need to keep going. I don't have enough. So I need to do one more. Man, I'm telling you what, these chicken breasts are ginormous these days. They are just humongous. So you really have to watch and clean your chicken breast, but I didn't do that ahead of this video. But I'm so thankful that I have very sharp knives that will help me get this chicken breast ready. And here's the beautiful thing is I don't have to necessarily touch a bunch of stuff because I throw the chicken breast right in there. Okay, so there we go. I will cut this one again in half. So basically what we're gonna do is we're going to roll, see how you can get, then you can find all the little veins and stuff in your chicken and get rid of them, which is lovely. So I'm gonna just clean this guy up because he looks a little icky. He's got a little bit of a vein right there, so I'm gonna clean him up. There's that. This will be extra for whatever I want it to be, and then I'm gonna cut this one in half. Right here, yeah. So, love the close and cut. Highly recommended. I use mine a lot. It saves me a lot of money because the butchers charge a lot for you guys to be able to get these specialty meat pieces of meat. So this I can throw in the dishwasher as well. So I'm gonna throw it right here in my sink. I'm gonna count out my chicken breasts. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. So I've got one left over. All right, so I'm gonna throw this. I'm gonna wash my hands real quick since I just touched chicken, which is really gross. Get my hands all washed, and then I'm gonna show you the rest of how easy this is. And I'm actually gonna throw these in my air fryer later on tonight when it's time for supper. Okay, so I'm gonna move all this stuff and set it aside, and I will come back and get this chicken later. I'm actually gonna clean off my countertop a little bit too with some cleaner. So bear with me while I do this. Get rid of my, and then we're all sanitized and clean, which is always important because even if it's my family, I don't want to cross-contaminate and get anybody sick because that would be bad. Okay, so what I'm gonna do now is I need to take, I put everything in my manual food processor. So this is another one of my favorite products. And basically, you put everything that you need to chop up right here. I love it because it's very lightweight and anyone can use it. It has a spring-loaded top to it. So you just push this, and that is what's gonna get the blade in the bottom to turn around. So what we're gonna do is inside here is, I took Laughing Cow cheese, green onions. It called for cream cheese, but I had some Laughing Cow squares. And so I use those, and then some 2 ounces of cheddar cheese. So I am just kind of moving this all around and getting it all mixed up. And see how it's kind of mixing it up already? So I'm gonna keep doing that. You can use a spatula if you need to get it to move around a little bit more, which I'm gonna grab one of my spatulas. So if you guys don't have our scrapers, there's a whole family of them and they're quite fantastic. You can see how discolored this one, and this one got too close to the back of my stove one time and got a little bit darker. There's nothing wrong with it. It's just not as pretty, and it's probably 20 years old. So I'm not too worried about that. So I'm gonna push all this stuff back down in here so that I can get it to get all mixed up. This is gonna be so yummy. So once I get this all mixed up, then I'm going to add some chopped up spinach to it too. And then I'm gonna kind of put that on the chicken breast and roll them up. Delicious. This is gonna be so good. I just thought, you know, something different, a little bit lighter, so it's not such a fattening, kind of a lighter entree for us for the evening. But I love that since I have all the right tools in my kitchen, I can make whatever I want. And if I didn't have these tools, it'd be hard. You gotta really put some backbone into this guy because that cheese is hard to move around. It's lightening up as see, look, I'm really putting my back into it. This is a really good workout. Okay, so I think that looks good. And then I need to, combine the cream cheese and the scallions. I did that. Okay, I still think I wanna, okay. So now I'm gonna take my blade out of here and I'm going to kind of get rid of some of this goodness that's on the sides of it because I want to use that in my recipe. Make sure I don't miss anything, right? This is gonna be so good. Okay, put that in my sink, wipe my hands off real quick. Okay, so now I'm going to move this aside and I need to get a half a cup of spinach chopped up. So I'm gonna grab another one of my Pampered Chef knives. Now, I wanna show you the difference. Do you see how this knife has these little ridges, kind of little dots on the sides of them? That knife is what you wanna use like when you're gonna do vegetables or anything like that. I've got a new cutting board right here. But if you're gonna cut up vegetables or fruits or anything that might stick, those little circles make it so that you they don't stick to the sides of your knife. So that's why there's those different knives. Okay, so when you go to cut, you want to make sure you always want to make sure you hold your knife properly. So if you grab your knife like this and then wrap your fingers around it, and you want to rock as you're chopping. So you always too want to have a claw grip on your food so that your knuckle is up against the side of the blade so that you're not going to cut your fingers. A good friend of mine always told me that your fingertips are more important than the end or the butt of whatever vegetable you're cutting. So throw it away if you feel like you're getting your fingers too close. But you see how my fingers are like that? And it's my knuckle that's on the end. So my fingers are never gonna be at risk of getting chopped off. And trust me, you don't want to get cut by these knives because they are super, super sharp. So you wanna be really, really careful, okay? So I've got my chopped up spinach, and then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get my chicken out, and I'm going to put a little bit of this cream cheese mixture. Well, actually it's Laughing Cow, but I'm gonna take a little bit of that mixture, and then I'm going to put a little bit of spinach, and then I'm gonna roll them up, and then I'm gonna dredge them in egg whites, and then in my sesame seeds, and I will show you how I do that. So I'm just mixing this around a little bit so that it's nice and pliable and easy to use and easy to spread. So in order to make sure that I had everything measured in here properly too, one of the new products that just came out is our digital scale. And I love it. It is a nice size. It's got a great, huge, very large surface on here. So you can put a big plate, a big bowl, and you can still see the units at the bottom. So it goes from pounds to grams to ounces. And then you can tar it, which means that if you have a bowl on there, you can put it back to 0 without having to change anything. Does that make sense? Okay, so let me move this aside for a second, and then I'm gonna grab my chicken. So these are our 3 trays, which are our dredging trays, and they come in a set of 3, but I only need 2, and I actually put my extra chicken in this one, but you can connect them all together. So if you're doing egg, flour, breadcrumbs to do like shrimp or chicken, if you wanna make your own chicken tenders, you can do that all right here, okay? And I'm actually going to grab a plate right here that I've got so that I got my little assembly line, and I'm gonna get another cutting board because I didn't grab enough. So here's the beauty of making sure that you have enough stuff. I tried to do my mise en place, which means that you prep before you do your cooking. And I thought I had everything ready, but looks like I need to kind of work on that a little bit. So what are you guys making for dinner? Comment below if you already know. I'd love to know. But these are our small flexible cutting mats, and I love these as well. As you see, I have a lot of cutting mats. There's nothing worse than being in the middle of cooking something in your kitchen and you don't have the right supplies, or the supplies that you need are dirty, right? So I have probably 7 or 8 cutting boards, and I have 3 of these small ones and 3 of the larger ones, and I use them on a regular basis. Now, what I love about them is they're flexible, but the bottoms of them have a non-stick grip on them also. So I'm gonna move this one over so that I've got my assembly line. Okay, And so hopefully you can see everything. I think you can. Okay, so I'm gonna grab my fork. I'm gonna take my chicken. Okay, I'm gonna put it right here. I'm gonna take a little bit, and it says to put a tablespoon of, 1.5 tablespoons of the cheese mixture. So I'm gonna grab my spoons. I think my tablespoon one is dirty, so this is my 1/2 tablespoon, so I'm just gonna have to do it a couple times. And I'm actually going to use one of my new, this is our new citrus peeler, and I'm gonna use that to kind of just push this on there so that I don't cross-contaminate anything. And I think I'm just gonna do a tablespoon at first. I think that might be enough. And then I'm actually using my batter mix and scraper right here, which I love because I can now just kind of slather this chicken or this cheese mixture on my chicken. Okay, see how I'm doing that? Well, it might actually need a little bit more of that cheese. So I'll put a little bit more in there and see what happens. Well, I just cross-contaminated. Well, that's okay because it's all gonna get baked anyway. And I'm not gonna use any more of that cheese, so we should be good. Okay, and then it says to take a tablespoon of the shrimp. Can you see that? Did you see me spread that? Let me get this over here. There we go. And then I'm just gonna take a little bit of the spinach and put it on here like so, okay? And then I am going to roll this bad boy up, it says. Roll up chicken and place it seam side down, okay? So there we go. Okay, seam side down. And then we're gonna dredge each of these rolls into egg whites, and then we're gonna season the mixture and shake off the excess. So I'm gonna move this over so that you guys can see what I'm doing, because this camera only gives me so much space. I'm gonna move my plate over so you can see, and I'm gonna grab my chicken. So here's my little chicken, right? Now I'm gonna probably do this in waves because I actually don't want to get my fingers all gross. So let's do one more chicken breast, and then I will let you guys be, so you don't have to watch me do all of this. What do I do with my chicken? Oh, it's behind me. Lord have mercy. Okay, so there's some chicken. And then I'm gonna grab some of my cheese, put that right on here. Grab my spreader and spread it out right here. But you know, here's the beautiful thing is you can really do whatever you want on this recipe. So if you want to change it up and add a different spice or a different cheese or do a different topping, you can do that. So now I'm going to roll this bad boy up. Okay, so 2 looks good. I don't think you need to watch me do this 6 times, right? So let me move this stuff out of the way so you can see. Okay, so now that I have that ready, there are actually tongs that go with this, but I don't have them with me, which would actually probably be a really good idea to have. But I'm gonna roll these in egg whites, and then this is the mixture of the sesame seeds. So I'm just gonna roll this around. And so now my chicken is wrapped in these sesame seeds, and I'm gonna set it on the side. So I'm gonna roll this and dredge it, and then I'm gonna roll it in my sesame seeds. So that is going to be dinner, and then I am actually going to put these in the air fryer. It says, let me put that dredge side down, I have to wash my hands. So I'm gonna put these in the air fryer for 15 minutes and then turn halfway through until they're golden brown and crispy. So I am super excited about dinner tonight. I don't know what you guys are cooking, but I wanted to jump on here and let you know what I was cooking. So I hope that you enjoyed this demonstration. If you want the recipe, comment below and I'd be more than happy to get it for you. But I hope you have a great Saturday, and thank you so much for watching, guys. We'll talk later. Have a good night. Bye-bye.